First game.
Alright, ito na guys, Sanok, babawian natin yan. Paiyakin na, papaiyakin. Nag-warm up lang tayo nung first game. Ito na, Sanok. Atin ng ruins. Atin ng ruins. Shout po kay General, salamat po. 365 days. Uy, isang taon na. Salamat General, Suporta.
Navi's 32-point win was the first game that we've had over 30 points.
Wala na po rin, disbanded. Oh, disbanded na ba? Oo nga no. Nabili na yata yung mga player niya na. Tama ba?
That's what Blank said right the other day. Is Navi is or they get 0 or they get 35 points, right?
Shout po kay Giovanni. Baka naman.
That was me, Blank.
Let's go Blacklist. Comment Blawat kayo ng hashtag Blacklist. Oh, banatan sa... Okay, may banatan sa bootcamp.
He steals my predictions when
May banatan sa bootcamp.
Okay. I'm having too many issues. Talking about issues, Yala Esports can have their own issues as BTR are not dropping in Pineland this time. They're going straight in boot camp.
Okay.
Oh, BTR, bootcamp sila, Pineland sila, di ba?
But I love this because this is maybe BTR reclaiming their throne or doing something to go, no, we're sick of being passive, we're sick of giving things up.
Oh, siguro kaya natin yung nagdadrop sa bootcamp, kaya natin sabihin ng BTR.
This is our game, this is our tournament, and I love that. I'm not saying it's going to work out, but I really appreciate what they're trying to do by dropping in boot camp.
Well, that is the change of pace. It's that. That is what we were talking about. So
ang tagal, matatapos na. Ay, dalawa knockdown. Okay.
Play though, BTR can be taking that fight. Jamas will be overwhelmed. Nice jump shot from Luxy.
Yala.
In the background with Ida still alive, by the way, but a little bit too far to really deal any kind of assistance.
Pine-pressure na. Pusong game mga BTR na yan.
BTR maybe even getting himself a third. He's full HP currently.
May pa sa Ryzen, bumaka po.
Will be enough to really get rid of Luxy.
Ayan na, puta, isa na lang. Tangina, maasim kayo ha. Nag-bootcamp kayo ha. Maasim kayo, isa na lang, Ryzen na lang oh.
Yala Esports, now you've got to try and confirm them. Ida needs to join.
Maasim kayo ha, cancerin nyo yung mga yan. Hindi kayo para sa bootcamp. Ryzen na lang. Ang hina. Ayan na, puta, tusan. Uwi.
Taking a severe beating, just one and he's gone. And they tried to change their son of games in period, but that is already
back to lobby.
The game in 60th.
Maasim kayo, sabing sa pan-final lang kayo eh.
Look, I love
Dumadrop kayo sa bootcamp. Wala. Tusun. Uwi.
It's a significant sign that Yala are here to stay, right? They're not.
They're
not here to step down and let another team take over.
Nag-asim.
They performed so well in this tournament so far.
Sisihan na naman yung mga yun. Sisihan na naman yung mga yun.
Respect them. And Yala.
Mukhang may magte-trending na magte-trending na naman yung sisihan ng mga BTR.
Has gone up north mostly encapsulating the mainland, but there is a good of that northwest island to play, which could threaten a few of the teams if it does shift over to the west on phase 2. And I'm interested to see how Navi and Fanatic zombies are gonna pull out the rotation. We saw yesterday, both teams should be okay, because remember, Navi pulled out pretty solid rotation in yesterday's Selhawk game, as did Fanatic Zombies. But with more of the Northwest Island in play, I'm curious if they're both going to commit to that side of the map.
There are also some very notable changes that happen throughout.
Nagkamali sila sa paglaglag nila kay Microboy.
Drop in on the southern side of
wala.
Paradise Resort.
Nawala yung core nila eh. Nawala yung core nila.
Road, and I think it's way stronger for them to actually play in that position because you're not going to get overwhelmed by Valdes if they try and rotate early. Which
ikaw kinakabahan sa Blacklist, boss.
Geek Fan,
Suporta lang.
Team to change their drop. Typically, they would go more towards the western side of the map, and they used to have a little bit of point of contestment with the likes of Navi. No, this time they're going for Kampong. They're taking things very slow in a similar fashion to the likes of I8, to the likes of, for example, even DRS, and they just want to avoid the fight entirely, which I'm okay with.
Dapat nag-final na lang sila eh. Nakapag-loot pa sila maayos, dumayo, tuson.
It is a good change of pace. See if it works out.
Malamang mamaya bukas makalawa trending na naman na sisihan ng BTR.
Blacklist are holding down the trifecta compound and blowing down reject on their rotation.
Gusto ko matuson talaga. Dapat hindi mabigyan ng puntos to eh. Masyado na malayo eh.
The Xavier once again going for that spread across the coastline of the mainland. It didn't work out for them in yesterday's games. I hope they've learned from what was a couple of obvious mistakes that allowed them to get then backstabbed by Navi in yesterday's game. But with more of that kind of north coastline in this third Sanok game with PMWI, I think it's important to stick more closely as a 2-2 split rather than 2-1-1 split, because there's most obviously going to be a lot more teams
wala na pala, kaya naman pala, nag-sausage pa na daw
That split is actually the reason how they lost players to Navi. That's exactly what happened yesterday. So I'm okay if they're staying with the 2-2 split, but as long as you're prepared that there's a chance the team will be able to get behind you.
Pero talaga, kahit mga top player kayo, pag nagpahinga kayo, sambuan, pahinga nga kayo sa linggo, maninibago kayo eh.
Have you ever been slapped in the face?
I would say so, yeah. Who hasn't? Right?
Ayan na. Naku po, ito na ang professional last.
Across
may matutuklaw na, ayan o.
PUBG, so that's fine though.
Tuklawin mo! Ano? Kita ko agad. Bopals! Hindi bumaril ka agad. Inabahan. Yari ka, marirevive lang yung knockdown nyo.
But 6ix9ine is just impossible to give him back. He is going to be lost to the tides. As that's going to be the first kill going over to the side of this gaming. They're going to be able to start it off really well. Satan going to be knocked down too, but on the position they currently are, A1 is clearly not going to push it, so they can go for the res and or go for the push or just leave.
I respect it from DS Gaming because it's a fantastic hill to control, and they recognize that by going up there as a full squad.
Boy, retaliation lang ko. Boy, pa lang ko. Wala lang ko, wala lang eh.
And a bit disconnected.
Puro lambingan ang gusto sa GC. Puro harutan lang kami dito.
One-on-one sniper tower and then one up on the hill. You're asking for trouble. You're asking to be
picked
off.
Sa final slot?
That's exactly what happened to them.
Hindi ko sure. Hindi ko sure kung may laban yung isa ka West eh.
Uniform.
Hindi ko pa sure. Kung
Setting
kailan.
up from A1.
Pero kung magkakaroon ng laban yung isa ka West, baka top 8.
Getting punished as they cross the Western Bridge, by the way. And DRS still hold on to the far east.
Yung tawa mo, Boss Maro, pinaalala mo na naman yung tawa ko kahapon eh. Kaya na. Hindi pa nga nakakadali yung Blacklist. Pag nakadali yung Blacklist.
Up to the coastline on the east side of the map. So I respect that they're aware of that.
I'm not going to lie, and I've said it recently. I love some of the rotation coming out from Reject. I think they're very strong on their macro game. But this is one of their rotations where I have a big question mark in my mind as to why would you commit to the Northwest
Yan po, Xavier, salamat sa pag-follow.
Literally in the trifecta.
At saka kay Gerald.
In phase 2, phase 3, so much
Lucero, salamat sa follow, Gerald.
We'll put the game in easy mode for absolutely no reason. So for that reason alone, I'm like, Reject, that is not a good rotation in my eyes.
Poor decision.
It's way too early to commit, and if you're looking at the odds are especially going to be against you because the Northwestern Island is a big chance to...
Sabi ng BTR, ayaw daw talaga nila sa Sanok. Wala daw trail. Kaya nagpatuson.
Never mind the fact that even looking back on
nakita ko yung page nila, may post sila eh. Ayaw talaga namin sa Sanok. Kaya kami nagpatuson.
It's even a little bit weirder in that regard. You're dead right about that trifecta position. For phase 2, phase 3 would have been a much easier rotation for them.
Nasaan na ba Blacklist?
It is what it is. They only lost one. They'll continue on. He has control that mountainside.
Maraming salamat pala sa PUBG Mobile Philippines sa pag-invite sa akin pag mag-stream po ng inyong tournament.
A little bit similar to day one Sanok game. They've opted to go for that kind of northeast area ahead of Paradise Resort, which I think is quite strong.
Wait.
Nako, Mafia Ninja, ito dumali kay Ians kahapon.
Absolutely unaware of where Mafia Ninja was standing. So DRS now very spread.
Palag yung mga geek na yan, may laro yung mga geek eh.
The rest of the team going to take
some pili ko may malalaglag sa tubig.
Some kind of assistance out to Mafia Ninja's position, but we know that's going to be so hard to really achieve. He's trying to
ay, may babakak kay Mafia Ninja sa kaliwa oh. Yari yung mga geek na yan. Yari yung mga geek na yan. Nasa kaliwa na yung si AJ oh. Ubus to.
That's great. And look at the angle from AJ. Having so much time to really wrap around on the side. I mean, Geek Fam tried to beat 10,000 IQ, but unfortunately they lose their
wala na naging isda na yung isa.
That will be damn rude, and he's going to have to try and swim his way through. And DRS know that he's going to be in the water, but the blue zone is not going to make it easy for Damn Rude to survive. Yeah, I mean, it was an attempt, but we know that DRS play edge on that position. They should have been a little bit more prepared for a fight.
Yeah, It's also so good for
Baltang enable no, sa gitna na naman. Kung masabihin ka nila na naman. Tulak ng tipak lang.
What did that do? It separated the Geek Fan members.
Grabe naman pumasisin yung mga Valdes na yan. Napadaya naman.
Over to IA going up against Yala Esports Crypto, making that work blade lost his life. So will Johnny, unfortunately, but still 2 players up. UZM gets it up, and that is Yala taken out by I8.
Crossing those sections of open land in between.
Akalatin sa sontong mga to.
Hard and always tricky. You got to be sure you get the right information beforehand. Gonna have a little bit of
Hindi
information.
nawawala sa gitna.
Went down. She did miss a bit of action. Ida did start it off with the first
Paano mahahabol yung team na yan kung ganyan?
They were a little bit far away from each another. Did give the advantage over to the opposing team. So decent attempt, but unfortunately that will be all from the Saudi Arabian team. Yala Esport. Though another fight's going to be happening. 2 teams wrecking the yellow color as they're going to be Fanatic Zombies versus Navi. So, Fanatic Zombies very far apart, so better to start regrouping because Navi, they're going in hard.
Really are.
Navi, Fanatic, kalaban na. Supporting Team 11.
It doesn't provide a lot of cover. That was a great grenade through the pinhole window of the building, but Salam's separation makes it work.
Salam, ito na yung Malas. Let's go, Malas! Kaya mo yan! Pakita mong hindi ka Malas, team! Ubusin nyo yung mga Navi! Tama na ang manok niyan! Nakakuha na ng 30 plus points yan!
Trying to pull all of Navi in while the rest of Fanatic Zombies had actually
comfort advantage daw, boss.
But seemed like the opposed they're giving back a shot their own medicine. Now Navi are waiting. Fanatic Zombies trying to go for the push. They had the man advantage. Mexico knocked on down. Now it's a 3v3.
That's nice.
That's a very good grenade, but Matic
sana
just
FC manalo dito.
open a little bit weirdly.
Kasi masyadong tumakas yung Navi doon sa game 1 eh.
Area to relax from. Nade versus Nade, who will connect it first. I like the attempt, get some decent damage onto Abood. Matic taking a lot of damage from that one too. The Salam also on the
Happy birthday po kay Giselle May Paneda.
Players of Navi.
From JP Tumang.
So good from Navi. Very well prepared for them, right? Recognizing that they were too much together. They had to separate in this fight.
I love how they're playing it, especially that off angle by Kitsune just set them up so well. Took a lot of pressure off the shoulders of Navi. Reject in the background. Known reject. I don't think this is a third party they're really going to go for. I think they're going to let that one go and slip out of their grasp. They would not be fully involved in that one, I would say. I wouldn't be too scared about that. Fanatic Zombies, more utility, and there's a lot of back and forth there, and they are not in a circle. We did talk about it, right? The circle did move
road
back
to 1,000 heart reacts tayo sa live, guys, para sa Blacklist. Wag haha-reacts, puro kayo haha-reacts. Tawa kayo ng tawa eh. Puso
I
lang.
disagree with that. Not gonna lie, I disagree with it, just because of how open that area is outside of Hatting. Plus, they've already made a good bit of noise. The Xavier are still there waiting. It's a question of what are Navi actually going to do upon this disengagement.
NATO's been searching engineer ng game 1 itong Navi.
You know, going away from it technically in a needless fight, but I would say that fight is a little bit more important than they think. But let's see how they do react to it. They could go for that.
Okay na yan. Maganda yung position ng Blacklist eh. Sana bumaba yung zone. Sana bumaba. Yung mid na lagi naluluto sa zone tong mga mid na to. Day 1 pa ganyan yan eh. Rotation yan. Lulutan yung Sami, Charlie, Bantay, Cave, Kampong, Lakawi, saka papasok na zone. Ganyan yung rotation lagi niya mga mids na yan. Diba? Simula day 1, ganyan yung rotation yan. Lahat ng barangay sa ilalim, lulutan yan. Kasi threat ng first aid dyan eh. Kaya strat nila pag wala sila zone.
The NASA Esports. They have such a very easy entry point, a lot of compounds to pick from. This is the game where I want to see NASA turn this one into a win. I want to see a dub. I want them to be first place because not only because I would like to see it, but because they kind of need it also.
Yeah, they do kind of need it for sure, but they're going to have probably Zeus heading in their direction, Myths coming in from the blue. So we saw yesterday in the Sanhok game, despite them performing relatively well, they were kind of slow to engage on a team sometimes. Most notably DRS in yesterday's game. So if there's 2 teams coming up in their direction, I wonder how quick they're going to be able to react. Time will tell. Either way, they have a fantastic spot. Valdes opting to go from the west of Paradise to now the east of Paradise out by the entrance. They should be able to target towards A1.
MJ Gonzalo, salamat sa follow at saka kay Freddy Berto.
Where those 2 teams are.
Thank you po.
I think they understood, especially from yesterday's game where they took third, where if you rotate too late away from Paradise, you're going to have a hard
time.
So they started moving a little bit quicker. What? What do you see?
Look at the boat skin. Look at the boat skin. Is that like a rubber ducky boat skin?
Lucky rubber ducky, yeah. Oh, another duck. Man, we're on brand. What's happening? Did they have a meeting before this to all be
that's a big
Pang-ilang BL ng game 1. Naku po, pang 15 po, pang 15.
Yeah,
0 points BL game 1, 0 points.
Jason, can we find someone else to replace Imperium, please?
Ito sila buo.
Oh, man. We'll see.
I found that way too funny.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Anyways, Xavier not going to find this game funny whatsoever. They're taking this actually pretty damn seriously, as they had a big 4-man spread. Actually, they spread a little bit more after their initial drop. They had a 2-2, then they had a 4 spread. Now they start to go back towards a 2-2. They're seeing Fanatic zombies. But Meku and Matic, they are very, very far away from each other. They're just trying to find different entry points and taking the safe option out, because they know that this is not a fight and this is not a game they're going to win. They're like, okay, this is Sanhok. We're going to crawl in. We're going to play it sneaky. We're aiming for positioning points and clearly not for kills this game.
Yeah, and it was low-key helpful to them that the circle did shift over to the east rather than the west. Even though they're further from the circle on the phase 3 shift, there's a less chance that teams are going to be essentially around them on the entry point. You know, right now it's only Blacklist International, whereas Paradise is or as much as I would advise the team
parang niluluto pa yung zone.
Go into Paradise. It's even at this stage of the game if you can. Meku is very reluctant.
Hindi nawawala sa gitna.
Xavier are now starting to move in. They have 2 people in as an anchor point.
Adjust na naman ang mga
very
teams.
Respectfully going around.
G, pwede natin makalaban.
To give them more information. I really like that.
Ayan, puta, gumilig na pero pasok pa rin, no? Parang ano lang, parang
it's so hard to move away from it.
Gilidan ko muna kay Zone. Grabe naman, no?
So many strong compounds, especially to the east. That's
Blackload sa alas, bagsak sa alas, oh!
From in Paradise itself, you want to avoid it altogether. Otherwise, A1, Valdes, and even the...
Ayan! Kasi si Martin! Pala si Martin! Kaso may tumag party tol. Rumas yung mga DS.
Going to be going for the assault to the Bangladesh team of A1. They're down to 3. 6-9 did get taken down relatively early. Dante, Jax. We have to hold on strong to the front line. Jax, unfortunately, not putting too much of a fight. Dante is going to be pinned down in this building. Sinister.
Marirevive si Martin. Bali nangyaring push ng DS dito. Marirevive si Martin, no?
DS Gaming actually pretty easily. Dante they're trying to...
Yun ang kahinaan ng Valdes pag napatay si Martin. Wala na core niyan eh.
And now Sinister trying to pick up the pieces he's hoping for at least, but we all know that this is not a fight.
Ay, shout kay Clark Ken! Salamat 75 star. Yun, may nagpatulog din ng live ko. Salamat.
Steamrolled, absolutely steamrolled by DS, and look, all 4 players going in. Leave no man behind.
Sinusuntok ko!
Mercy.
May sumusuntok.
So good from DS. Yes, it was a probably a poor defensive setup from A1, and they should have expected something, right? They were already outside the circle. They knew DS Gaming were there. Realistically, DS were either going to crash or try to wrap around them. A1 were not set up for anything there. They were very passive inside those buildings.
I thought that was the 100-meter Olympics for a second. Like they like 1, 2, 3, and they all pushed at the exact same time. That is what we call synergy and good communication.
Nag-knockdown lang sa tumakbo.
And it worked out great to overcome the likes of Sinister. Now
sumampal lang sa tumakbo. Keep shot.
East position. All teams are trying to pick up a few little
positions
under control. NASA's looking pretty good. Same for DRS, even though they do have to regroup. But that's reject out of the game. They already were down to 2 players very quickly early on. So there was not really too much of a fight they could really put up.
They did get 2 kills. They took down 2 players of Xavier with them, so they'll take it before they went out. It was DRS that took them out.
Ito na yung mga pre-points tol.
Yeah, there you go.
Malapit na sa mga sus.
Oh, that nade. I think he saw it for a second. He's got to get up after the heal. I saw an M249 actually. But from behind, that's going to be a sneaky third party.
Sana Nasser manalo dun sa clash.
Imperium, though, NASA also going to be struggling a bit.
Kompleto Blacklist, kompleto.
We know that was going to be a really hard game for
Sana manalo Nasser dyan.
You can't escape the nade. It's too strong.
Miracle lang gumagawa dyan sa Nasser eh.
Nading that one up. NASA trying their best to move out of that position in the first place. Amze and Nabo.
Wala na tol, 3 points talaga.
Well, they saw the third party, and I think they're trying to use that to their advantage by trying to move away of the fight and maybe trying to stop.
Pag Nasar na knockdown nila, talagang sinusugod na ng mga team cell kahit nasa labas pa ng zone eh.
NASA taking the first place,
3
but they
points
are
na daw, 3 points.
Zeus will have to move in eventually, and that is something NASA
needs to do. Iningis na ng susunod, nakita na lang Nasar yung kalaban. Pinasok ko agad.
You know, the longer you leave it, the higher chance they're still going to end up getting third. parted yourself. The Xavier.
Ay, may isang kill na Blacklist, may isa na.
Lamborghini left
Talaga,
on his
ayaw
own.
pakita ang
DS
Blacklist,
seemed to move into the circle.
Papakita niyo pag maliit na ISO na yung wala na kayong ibang pwedeng panoorin
Edge of the circle. I8 are outside of the circle. There's very few teams because
ayun,
the center is
nice.
playable. It's all edge.
Nice, pwede na yan, pwede na yan. Hindi na masama, masisecure niya alas yung compound.
If they try and go through
May
any
isang kill na
other
tayo.
means into the circle, Valdes are just going to be able to take some Hail Mary shots and just completely obliterate your position in the first place. So they need to take this fight and they need to rotate from this compound into the circle. There's no options, GS Gaming.
Oh, pagsak si Missile, no?
You can't avoid that nade because it's so damn clean from 6. As they're down to 3, DS Gaming. If you want to push it, you need to be careful and snappy. If you stay behind those walls, you're prone to taking nade and utility damage. That is something you want to avoid at all costs.
You say it all the time when you're dead right with that. You stick to a wall. You're asking for a nade
namatay si Clear!
in the face.
Sino kadali kay Clear?
And slowing DS Gaming down even more. 2 players are
Crypto!
knocked down. Suporta is pushing through while his teammate says that he's getting a
Crypto!
revive on the missile that may work out.
Oh, si Ios bagsak na rin.
For the time
Ayaw
being.
pakita.
Valdes, they're ready to
Tyra,
hold
alas
on
na lang.
and get their own revive off.
Nadali sila sa likod.
Look, enough.
Oh, bagsak na rin si Tyra!
Absolutely shredded with
Yari!
The flashbang did come up.
Nabackstab sila?
Wasn't able to quite connect onto Valdes. They're still going to be keeping that information.
Ina,
DS Gaming
wala na, alas na lang.
that gap more and more.
Ah, si alas na yung nasod, kaso nag-iisa!
Hit down in one singular building,
Di pa
meaning that
kulong.
nades and mollies would be even more impactful for DS Gaming if they really want to get some significant damage on
Alas,
Valdes.
ipakita mo na ang iyong natatagong kapangyarihan.
Where is it going to be? Missile, you need to join the fight. 2 with the off-angle actually through the window and through the door. He paid so much dividends. But now it's a one-on-one. Martin is going to be the only player remaining with Missile off DS Gaming, but he's not going to go for the push, and he's leaving his players trying to move away. You had one opportunity to go for the push and take that one-on-one, but now he gave too much time, and that's Concept back on his 2 feet, and Valdes might come back up as a 4-man.
Nabakstaban sila, dalawa yung nakadali sa kanila.
By Valdes. They shouldn't allow DS to get back into this fight. Let's be fair, because they 2 DS players knocked out. They could easily have pushed in.
Top 8 tayo. Kailangan top 5.
Moved out of the blue.
Isa pa
But
akin
now
eh.
Martin is left on his own with Concept. There's no way, shape or form you're going to get the revive on the 6 or GUI. They're out of it right now. Well, DS, they've left just one.
Ah, si alas lang oh!
I was so surprised.
Pagkakataon mo ng mga answer alas. Cancerin mo yung concept na yan.
He was on point. Where was it?
Cancerin mo yung mga
It seemed like they were
Valdes
just
na yan.
under pressure, and they just couldn't deal with the pressure that was put on their shoulders at that time.
Walang mga highlights ang Blacklist ang puta, visit. Wala mo nakakita ng ganun.
In a rescue of Broly of Myth, one of players that has been
Nauuka, patay!
significantly.
Si Concept pa pumatay!
Squad.
Ina!
It's a little bit more, but unfortunately the blue doesn't have any. He had a first aid, but not going to be popping it this time around. And now
Walang
all the
highlights ang
statistics
Blacklist
that Blue, as
ko,
Mr. Dave would like to say, is going to be coming into the play. And NASA are in position. We've got to be careful. If you keep
Nakababa ng top 8. Walang highlights.
NASA's got a lot to live up to.
Paano mo nakakita ng ganong spectator?
Trickling down, sliver of health in his hands. Martin being a snake monster that he is.
Nadali pa ni Concept.
On the other side, still up as a
Tampal na
3-man
naman
team.
nabot.
This could be their win.
Concept pa
At the
nakadali.
end of the day, say what you want, as good as Zeus are doing,
Highlight na naman ni
Valdes are
Concept.
doing just as good, and that lead, that gap between first and second continues.
Wala na, top 3 na naman yung Valdes, oh!
That's done so for NASA to get eliminated.
Kagi na yan.
Now remaining, got a little bit of a heal off from Missile from DS Gaming actually in the blue up north. So he's trying to hope and snatch away a
May
third
secure ng
place.
7 kills.
So Martin trying to push out.
Yan na.
Not much could really do. So the control of Zeus is so good. They are relentless on this circle control right now and absolutely loving every single second of it. But GUI is already trying to eke his way forward over to the more western side. Missile still alive. There's a battle.
Kagamit
He
na
will
ng
survive the
pinagbabawal na
longest.
technique
Missile,
dapat
GUI
si Las.
Missile doesn't have any more first aid, so he's going to try and rush over. Can he see GUI for a second? I thought he did right there, but apparently he didn't have the time to actually go for the shot. Now it's going to be a second position for GUI. Zeus will be pushing out far and
Wala
wide.
na, Valdes pa to. Naku po, wala na, Valdes na. Oh, hindi. Nice.
The faithful shall be rewarded as Zeus started off very poorly with a 16th place, but now
muntik
the
na,
game
second na naman na ngayon.
their favor with an
Muntik pang makamanok.
coming their way. Only
Dalawang second na.
Control at the very end of the game is what you love to see from Zeus.
Hey, look, Blair called Zeus to have an absolutely fantastic day today, and Game 2.
Ang hirap ng ganito, gogo. Wala ka ng highlights.
Because that phase 5, phase 6 kind of shift where
naghahabol pa kayo sa zone.
So many teams to play edge. You had a lot of teams.
Huli na pinanigan na zone ng Blacklist, alas lang ang nasa loob.
Both teams going out.
Hindi ba pinakita?
Just trying to heal off
Ano naman
towards
yan?
the end. And it worked out for DS Gaming. Got second place. Third place.
Buti pa yung nasa tubig, may highlights eh.
Efforts. But in the end, Zeus conquered up on towards the southeast and got the chicken dinner.
Yeah, a few teams that I thought would do pretty well in this game, but had started very poorly. We had that fight between Yala and BTR in boot camp. BTR got completely wiped out
Angat yung Zeus, angat.
of the that fight around. Only 2 players did remain at
may kill tayo, di ba? May isang kill tayo?
As they tried to move through, but DRS were in that position. I think that's something that,
yeah.
May points tayo ngayon. Baka 3 points siguro, 3 or 4.
DRS play every single time, and yet they just went for it and said YOLO.
Sayang na yung first game, di pwede walang points sa second game.
But man, how relentless is Valdes? This is a day
50G ka sulit, 50G ka sulit, walang chicken dinner eh.
Top 3, game 2, not finding the win just yet.
Ay, si Miracle, nadali ni Alas.
50-point lead at the start of the day. After last game, they had a 70-point lead. Where are they at now? They're gonna have a 100-point lead soon.
Ayun, napatay ni Concept si Alas.
Because
niluto, kinremate pala si Alas doon.
Technically got a few more points than Valdes, so you
Walang
know that
highlights on
might go
Blacklist.
down to maybe 65. Still, either way, it's a monstrous gap. Like it is 3 mattresses worth of a cushion, right? That is insane from Valdes. I was expecting real quick DRS.
Exclamation notify! Space! Hashtag! Blacklist! Babawi tayong game 3! Sa atin na Miramar! Sa atin na Miramar! Inyo na yung sanok na yan! Papatay nga BTR, idol na sanok eh.
That's a bit of a feels bad, man.
Well, there you go. Huge cushion being built.